Hi everybody, it's Ginger with Marvelous Mouse Travels, and recently I got to record a question and answer session all about Universal Orlando Resort with a team of agents from Marvelous Mouse Travels. Not only are these agents my colleagues, but they're great friends. In fact, we talk almost every day, so it was really fun for me to get to share this experience with them. And I hope you have fun and that you learn a whole lot about Universal Orlando as you watch it.
Well, welcome everyone. I'm fortunate enough this evening to be joined by three Marvelous Mouse Travel agents. Recently on their Facebook pages, their respective Facebook pages, would posted a question asking if anybody had any questions about Universal Orlando because they have just recently reopened. And so far they've gotten off to great reviews off the beginning of the first few weeks. And so with the new COVID preparations or just any Universal questions in general, we have a panel of agents here tonight to answer those questions for you. So I get to introduce them. Our first agent is Ashley Evans, and you can find her on Facebook there. Ashley, where else can people contact you?
You can also find me on Instagram at Two Sisters Travel MMT. I share my Facebook account with my sister Kristen. She's also a Marvelous Mouse travel agent. And then you can also reach me by email at ashley.evans@marvelousmousetravels.com.
Thank you very much. Our second agent is Carrie Byers. And Carrie, where can people contact you?
Hey, you can contact me on my Facebook page, and you can also contact me by email at carrie.byers@marvelousmousetravels.com.
All right. And our third agent is Ginger Pierce. Ginger, how can people contact you?
Definitely on my Facebook page via email at ginger@marvelousmousetravels.com. And if you want just one place to go to access all of my social media, you can go to www.GingerMMT.com.
All right. Well, so here's our game plan. We have several questions that have been posited, I guess you could say, for our agents. And so I'm going to ask each question and then let them take over. So our first question is, it's two slides. It said, I know there's a lot of talk of taking the coffee makers from the rooms. Do you know if that has been done or have they left them and are just deep cleaning? I love this part of it. I know it's silly, but I'm up at 4:30 a.m., which first of all, kudos to you for waking up at 4:30. And Starbucks isn't open yet. That caffeine gets me going in the morning. I understand totally.
Yeah.
So I'll let you all answer that.
I think that was one of my clients that asked that question, actually. And Carrie was actually kind enough to call in and get the answer for it directly from Universal. So, yes, there are still coffee makers in the room, and housekeeping is cleaning the rooms, but also cleaning the coffee makers thoroughly between each guest. So, yes, they are still in the rooms if you want to make your own coffee.
All right. And our second question is, are masks required? Can you take them off in restaurants or on rides? And I would assume for the restaurants part, it's referring to, for example, 3 broomsticks or some quick service place. Like if you're standing there waiting in line to order, you have to have your mask on then, or can you take it off? I mean, I'm guessing nobody's going to be eating with a mask on. That'd be kind of tough. So, can you take them off in restaurants or on rides?
So, yes, masks are required. That is part of just the new guidelines for the COVID-19. They're just trying to do everything they can to keep everyone safe, and they've done a really good job of that. But that is one of the things that they're requiring is masks. You can take them off when you're eating and when you're drinking. So, if you're standing in line or about to walk into a restaurant, it's good to have it on. But when you sit down or, to eat or when you're sipping on some drink, it's perfectly fine to have your mask off. They also have some areas designated as you rest areas, is what they're calling them, and you are able to hang out in those areas and take a rest, and as long as you are social distancing 6 feet away from anyone who is not in your party, you can take your mask off in those areas. So it's really a great place to kind of chill out and rest and, just take a little break from your mask and just hang out until you're ready to go again.
All right. Here is a very commonly asked question about Hagrid's roller coaster. Can you use Express Pass for Hagrid's?
The answer is no. But they are now opening up to virtual queue. So much better. You get into the park, you get on the app, and you pick a time, and you return at that time, and you'll have a fabulous experience on this roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
All right. Well, here's probably a pretty common question right now. Do you have to wear a mask in the hotel lobbies?
Yes, you do. You have to wear a mask in any common area. So unless you are eating at a restaurant or you are in one of those you rest areas, the mask has to be on. So yes, that would include the hotel lobbies.
Okay.
And can I jump in and add to that? So in the hotel lobbies, if you're staying on property, on Universal property, you will come through your hotel lobby to get to your transportation to the parks. And that is where you will be do your health screening. Mm-hmm. And so you will have your mask on, and you will your temperature will be taken. If your temperature is lower than 100.5 degrees, you are fine to go into the parks. They will give you a band that just shows that you have been screened and that you're healthy and you didn't have any signs and symptoms of sickness. And the band color will change every day. So if you're there Monday through Friday, every morning you'll have to have that health screening completed again, and you'll get a different color band. So just another step they're taking to keep everyone safe.
Yeah, and also once you've had your temperature taken in the lobby, you don't have to have it taken again in the park. So that's a really huge perk of staying on property right now.
That's awesome. Saves you time when you get to the park for sure.
And I'm going to add one more thing. Right now, during the COVID issues and stuff, you get guaranteed entry if you are staying on site.
Yep.
I would be a little hesitant to stay off site and worry about getting in. So regardless if you have tickets or not, on site, you're guaranteed entry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's a good point. I actually have clients there right now, or they were there yesterday and today, and they had stayed off property. They're there for their job, and I worried about them yesterday and today not being able to get in because they were off property. Fortunately, when you purchase tickets through Marvelous Mouse Travels, you do get the early park entry, even though that's a perk usually reserved for people who are on-site guests only, but purchasing tickets through us does give you early park entry. So that helps for sure. You get in an hour before the general public does. And so that's what they did. They just took advantage of that hour early entry, and they did get in. But I was actually up late Friday night just thinking, I hope they get in. I was worried about them. So I'm glad they did, and they had a really good time.
Yeah.
Well, our next question, I think, is probably pretty common too. And it's, what is City Walk?
City Walk is essentially the entrance to the two main parks, Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios. So there's essentially a lot of restaurants there. There's a miniature golf course there. There is a movie theater there, a lot of shops. And City Walk has free admission. It does not have free parking, but it does have free admission. If you want to just go and hang out at City Walk, you are able to do that. But City Walk, I guess for lack of a better explanation for it, is the entrance into the two main parks of Universal.
One way I like to think about it is it's kind of Universal's version of Disney Springs.
Yeah.
Disney Springs. It's very similar to that. I think that might be a good analogy.
Or Downtown Disney if you're on the West Coast. It's kind of there for Downtown Disney.
Our next question is there a special kind of ticket you have to ride the Harry Potter train?
So you have to have a park-to-park ticket to ride Hogwarts Express Train is what it's called. And it's so fun. Even if you happen to not even be really a Harry Potter fan, you will love the Hogwarts Express Train. So I'll explain a little bit about what a park-to-park ticket is. What that means is that this ticket allows you to go back and forth as many times as you want to between the two dry parks, which are Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. So if you don't have a park-to-park ticket, you can only go to one of those parks, and you have to choose which one you go to, and then you stay in that park all day. And you would only see that part of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. But there's a part of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter is in Islands of Adventure, and part is in Universal Studios. So you're really going to want to get that park-to-park ticket so that you can see both parts of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, as well as ride the Hogwarts Express train. It's a lot of fun. The train ride is amazing, and it's really cool to see it from both directions. It's different one way versus the other way, so you really want to ride it both ways. It's super fun for a Harry Potter fan or someone who isn't a fan. It's just a really cool experience.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get confused by that because Universal does have Express Pass, but that's not a ticket to ride the Hogwarts Express. That's essentially their line skip pass at Universal. And so a lot of people see Express Pass and they just assume, oh, that's, my admission to the Hogwarts Express, but it's not. A regular park-to-park ticket, like Carrie said, whether you have Express Pass or not, will get you on the train.
And if you're going for Harry Potter, you definitely want the park-to-park, because I'm not a Harry Potter fan, but riding the Hogwarts Express was nothing like I've ever done before.
Yeah.
It was very unique.
Mm-hmm.
Well, y'all kind of already answered this a little bit, but let's just straight up address it. I heard that some people can get early entry into the parks. How do you get that?
Book your tickets with us. Simple as that.
Yep.
If you book through Marvelous Mouse Travels, you will be granted early entry into the Wizarding World of Harry Potter and Volcano Bay. So that means you get in. Parks open at 9 a.m. to the general public, and you can get there at 8 and have the park to yourself for an hour before the rest of the people get there. It's really nice.
Yeah, especially right now when park entry is on a first come, first served basis. That early entry is more important than it ever has been, because it might be the difference between you getting to go to the parks that day and you being turned away due to capacity limits.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And we we were there in September. It was amazing to get in there an hour early. We couldn't believe the difference in the crowd versus at 8 o'clock and then 9 and 9:30 when the rest of the crowd started coming in. It was really awesome just to be able to see the Wizarding World of Harry Potter without the crowd and to get a lot of really cool pictures. And it was really neat. It was definitely something that we were glad for.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all mentioned that we had a question about Express Pass earlier, and you mentioned it a couple times since then. The next question actually was, how do you get free Express Passes?
Well, there's 3 on-site resorts that offer that as part of your stay, and that is the Hard Rock Hotel, Lowe's Portofino Bay Hotel, and Lowe's Royal Pacific Resort. So if you stay at one of those 3, then from your day of check-in, from park opening on your day of check-in to park closing on your day of check-out, you will have unlimited Express Pass included, and that is good for skipping the regular standby lines at Universal Studios and at Islands of Adventure. It does not work at Volcano Bay.
And one thing I'll add to that is a lot of people I've had ask, well, if hotel check-in isn't until 4, how can I get my Express Passes? Well, you can get them as early as 7 a.m. on the day you check in. If your room's not ready, you just go to the counter, get your tickets, and you can head to the park until they call you, let you know your room's ready.
Yep.
One more thing I'll add in there is that a lot of my clients will want a price, and I do this for everyone. They'll say, they want to stay in one of the less expensive resorts, but then they want to add Express Pass to their tickets. And a lot of times it ends up being, a very similar price to stay in a premier resort. and you're getting Express Pass for free, or maybe it's just a little bit more, but you're staying in a more upgraded resort, and you are closer to the parks, and you just have more amenities in your resort. So that's something I quote out for every client, just to let them know, what their options are, and if the price difference happens to be a big price difference, and it's not your cup of tea, then that's fine. But that is one thing to definitely consider, is that with those premier resorts, you're getting Express for free. It's a really good deal.
Yeah. Especially if you have a larger party, like if you have 4 or 5 people in your family, typically it is going to be cheaper to stay at a premier resort.
Yeah.
Well, Ginger, you mentioned one thing that was interesting just then. You said unlimited Express Pass. Is there a version that is not unlimited?
Yes, there is a regular Express Pass, which will get you the option to skip the lines once per eligible attraction. So with unlimited, like let's say you want to skip the line on the Hulk, you can ride the Hulk 17 times and skip the line every single time if you want to. But with the regular Express, you could only use it once at Hulk, once at each eligible attraction.
Okay.
If you do that, you're very brave.
Yeah.
And so the Express Pass that comes with staying at the hotels, those 3.
It's the unlimited version.
Well, our next question, I guess, deals with geography. Can you walk to the parks from the hotel?
Yes. Basically, the Hard Rock has the closest proximity to the theme parks. Of the 3 Universal resorts, it is literally like a 5-minute walk to the front gate of Universal Studios. Technically, you can walk from all 3, but this resort is by far the most convenient. And when I mean all 3, I'm talking about the top 3 premier hotels.
Yeah, Volcano Bay, which is the water park, there is a private entrance there from Cabana Bay Beach Resort. So if you're really into the water park, that's a good option too, because you can have your own private way in.
And I think you all have already answered the next question, is can you stay off-site and still get early entry through MMT? Which MMT, just if anybody's wondering, Marvelous Mouse Travels. If you book through a Marvelous Mouse Travels agent, can you stay off-site but still get that early entry?
You can, and that is a perk that is normally reserved just for on-site guests, the early park entry. But because of our relationship with Universal, we are able to offer that perk as well. So that's not something that you will get staying off-site normally, but with us you can. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And not all travel agencies get to offer that perk either. Carrie mentioned that special relationship we have. And part of that relationship is that we are, as voted by Universal Parks and Resorts themselves, we are the top travel agency in the nation for Universal vacations. And that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Next question. This is a really good question. I love this question. It says, does Universal have dining plans?
They do have dining plans. They have 3 separate dining plans. And what I like about their dining plans, there's 2 big things that I like about them. One is the variety that they give you. It's not just a one-size-fits-all, but you can pick what works best for your family. The second thing that I like about their dining plans is that you don't have to get them for your entire trip. You can choose which days you want to purchase the dining plan. I'll just give you a brief overview of them. The quick service dining plan gives you a quick service meal and a drink, and it also gives you a snack and a non-alcoholic beverage. And that's per day that you purchase that dining plan. You can also get the quick service dining plan with a Coca-Cola souvenir cup, which is cool, and you can keep getting that refilled. And that's included in the cost for what you paid. So if you like to drink a lot of soda during the day, that would definitely be the way to go. That could save you some money. And you get a really cool cup to take home. And we have lots of cups at our house. Everywhere we go, we get a cup. And you can never have too many. The third dining plan that they have is it's the universal dining plan. So essentially you get what you get in the quick service plan. You get a quick service meal, a snack, and a drink. But you also get a more of a sit-down meal as well with that dining plan. So like I say, lots of variety in their dining plans, and you can purchase them by the day, which is really convenient.
And it's fairly easy to use. I got to use one in December. They provide with cards. I couldn't find mine tonight to show, but they provide you with dining cards, and you just show that the dining location, and you're good to go.
Yeah, super convenient, super easy.
Well, our next question is, do Universal Resorts offer airport transportation?
They do offer airport transportation through the Superstar Shuttle. It's super convenient. The shuttle picks you up at the airport, takes you to your resort, and then at the end of your trip, it'll pick you up from your resort and take you back to the airport. And this is the Orlando International Airport, MCO, that you can get transportation to and from. So the shuttle is really convenient, and it's priced really well. For adults, it's $39 per person round trip, and for kids, it's $29 per person round trip. And then if you only needed it one way for some reason, it's $23 one way for adults and $18 for kids one way. So again, just a super convenient way to get back and forth from the airport and your resort.
All righty. This next question is a great question. I mean, I'm sure people have heard about it. They might have seen the volcano driving down Interstate 4. What is Volcano Bay?
So Volcano Bay is a water theme park. And a lot of people think, oh, it's just a water park. It's just a bunch of water slides and stuff like that. And obviously it is a water park. They do have water slides, but it is intensely themed, much like the regular theme parks are. And so there's a backstory to it. There's lots of little Easter eggs to find all around the park. But it is, in my opinion, the best water park in Orlando. So definitely worth a visit for sure. Especially right now, Universal has their great buy 2 days, get 2 days free ticket deal. But they also, in a package with a hotel, they have an additional bundle and save discount of $75 off of a 3-park ticket, which includes Volcano Bay. So it's really a great time to visit the water park because of that deal.
All righty. Now, this is a similar question to what we had earlier. Do you get early entry into Volcano Bay when you book through MMT?
Yes, you do.
Okay. Next question is Universal good for little kids? Now, I'm going to qualify this question because little kids is somewhat of a broad term. Let's say kids 5 and under and kids 5 or 6 to 10.
Carrie, you have a daughter in the 6 to 10 age range. So why don't you talk about your experience at Universal with her?
Yeah, so my daughter was almost 8 when we took her to Universal for the first time, and she loved it. She had a great time, and one of her favorite things to do and to see, of course, was the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. She loves Harry Potter. She's only saw the first movie just because they get a little scarier as they go. She's definitely interested in watching the rest of them, so we'll probably let her do that soon. But her favorite thing to do there was to get a wand, an interactive wand, and the wands are so cool. Like you can go and there's like a whole show where they in the wand store where the wand chooses you, and the wand chose her that day, so she thought that was really cool. The wands are interactive, so there are several places in both of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter and both parks where you stand in a spot and it tells you the spell to do with your wand, the way to move your wand, up, down, sideways, whatever. And when you do that, something comes to life, whatever you're looking at, whether it be something in a window screen or something moves above you or around you. And so we spent so much time just going around and, just like letting her do that. And she just enjoyed it a lot. So she enjoyed both parks. There was something for her to do all around Universal. So I definitely recommend it for that age group.
Yeah. And for, younger kids, like kids from maybe, age 3 to 5 or something like that, there definitely are things for younger kids to do. There is a Dr. Seuss area. There is a Barney and Friends area. There are little play areas. Now, the play areas are not open right now because of the health situation that we're in. But typically those areas are open, and there's a lot of rides that are definitely geared towards younger kids too. So even if, I mean, maybe some of you that are watching this, you had a Disney vacation planned for spring break or this summer and that got canceled, and you're thinking, well, you know, are we going to be disappointed by Universal? I don't think that you will. I think that you'll find a lot of things for your younger kids to do. If you just keep in mind that Disney and Universal are different parks, but that doesn't mean that, you know, one is lesser than the other. It's not like you're comparing apples to oranges. It's really more like you're comparing Granny Smith apples to Red Delicious apples. Like they're not exactly the same, but they're magical in their own way, I think.
I agree. My daughter was not excited. We went to Universal during our Disney trip, and she didn't want to leave Disney. She wanted to stay, and we just kept telling her how much fun she would have. And once we left Universal, she wanted to do another day there. She loved it so much. So, and there's a lot of clients that do that. Yeah, I'm sure you guys do too. You know, go from one part to the other, Disney to Universal, and vice versa, because it's so convenient to do.
So our next question is, does Universal offer seasonal parties? Now, I would assume this is referring to events similar to, like if you're familiar with Disney, maybe Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party or Not So Scary Halloween Party, something to that effect. So does Universal offer seasonal parties like that?
So the answer is yes. They have a Halloween Horror Nights starting in the fall, September through the 1st of November. This is the only ticketed event holiday party that you need a ticket to enter. It is recommended for 13 and older because it can be a little intense. The characters and can be a little much for some of the younger kids. But you do have to have a ticket for the party. Now, there are Christmas parties. They are included in your admission. The Grinchmas. Seuss Landing is decorated as like the Whoville. And it's super cute. They also have a holiday parade, and it's featuring Macy's. So when you go, you get the full consolidated version of the Macy's Day Parade, which is super cute. I saw it this past December. And you kind of felt like you were right there in New York City. Also, they have a Grinch breakfast with the Grinch, and we'll talk about that more in just a minute. Also, they have Mardi Gras, and Mardi Gras starts from February through 1st of April, and this is included with your daily admission ticket. They have themed parades with themed floats. Live concerts with chart-topping artists and New Orleans-style food and drinks throughout the time they have the party. But again, it's all included in your daily admission ticket. And they also have a New Year's Eve celebration too. So if you're around Universal during New Year's Eve, you can stop by City Walk and enjoy a New Year's Eve celebration. But the only one that you have to have a separate ticket for is Halloween Horror Nights.
Our last few questions here. This is a great question. Can I go to just one park and get the full Harry Potter experience?
I don't think so. I think you definitely will get a Harry Potter experience. You'll kind of get half of the Harry Potter experience though, because the Wizarding World, like I think it was Carrie that was talking about this earlier, the Wizarding World is in both Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios. So if you only have tickets to one or the other, then you're going to be missing half of it. Diagon Alley is in Universal Studios. Hogsmeade and Hogwarts are in Islands of Adventure, and the train goes between the two. So you're going to miss out on the train experience, and you're also going to miss out on half of, the Harry Potter Wizarding World if you just have one day, one park ticket.
All right. And our next to last question is, are there character meals at Universal Studios or Islands of Adventure?
There is. There are just a few. So the first one I'll start with, you don't need a park admission ticket. And then it's at Lowe's Royal Pacific Hotel. And it's a Despicable Me character breakfast. So you get to have breakfast with the Minions and the characters from Despicable Me. The next one, you will have to have park admission. It is in Islands of Adventure, and that's the Marvel character dinner. That is at the Cafe 4. And you have Captain America, Spider-Man, Wolverine, and a few others. But they can change daily, depending on circumstances. The next one is the Grinch and Friends Christmas breakfast, and that is held at Circus McGurkus in Seuss Landing, and that's only during the holiday season. And then there's one more, and it's Halloween Horror Night what's it called? Character Dinner, and that one is held at the Monsters Cafe. They all have their own pricing, and they range, so you can just ask any of us, and we'll get those prices for you.
So those are pretty tough to say.
Yeah.
Circus McGurkus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I will add too that not all of the character meals are available right now. For instance, I have a client who's booked for August, and we had Marvel character dinner tickets in her package, and they actually refunded her for that this week. So it may be for the next couple of months that the character meals are not available, but typically they are.
Yeah.
So our last question is actually my question. And currently at Universal Orlando Resort, there are 3 parks. They are building a 4th, but right now there's 3. And that is Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure, and Volcano Bay. So my question to these 3 agents is, which park is your favorite of those 3?
My favorite is Islands of Adventure. I love Marvel Comics, and so I love the superhero island. The Hogsmeade, Hogwarts section of the Wizarding World is my favorite. I also really like the Dr. Seuss area, which is also in Islands of Adventure. So I like how Islands of Adventure is kind of segmented into different areas, and the theming changes that so much that you're kind of immersed in each area, and I think that's really cool.
So I also would choose Islands of Adventure as my favorite, and the main reason is because Hogsmeade is my favorite part of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Both Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade are actually my favorite part of all of Universal. It's so immersive, and it's just an awesome place to be. But if I was picking between Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley, I would pick Hogsmeade. So that's why I say Islands of Adventure would be my favorite park.
And I'll go with Universal Studios. I used to be I still love movies and movie sets, so it's kind of fun to be over there and see the city sets. So that's fun for me. So that's my favorite.
Well, I thank all of you 3 ladies for joining us, and I thank all of you for watching. And if you have any questions about Universal, I'm sure that any 3 of these agents would love to help you answer those questions. And you know what? If you want to book a trip to Universal, or if you wanted to book a cruise or a Disney destination, or even maybe an all-inclusive resort, please contact any one of these 3 ladies, and I'm sure they would be happy to help you. Their services are free. It really is. And that's not made up. That's real. It really is free. So if you're wondering about that, contact them and ask them that too. So we thank you all for watching with us. We hope all of you have a great week, and hopefully we'll get together and do this again sometime.